Namaste to all. Kriyayoga is the most ancient spiritual system that has ever existed. Throughout the millennia, thousands of spiritual aspirants have practiced Kriya Yoga as a means to achieve self realization. This method is regarded as one of the most reliable paths to achieve the state of supreme consciousness, which is also known as Turiya Avastha. There are numerous yoga organizations that describe their practices or systems as Kriya Yoga. However, the teachings imparted by the deathless master Mahavadar Babaji to Sri Lahiri Mahashaya are commonly known throughout the world as Kriya Yoga. Along with the creation, to escape from the illusory consciousness, God Himself gave a complete system to mankind. This system is known as Kriya Yoga. This is what Kriya Yogis believe. This is why Paramahamsa Yogananda narrated the history of Kriya Yoga in his famous book Autobiography of a Yogi as follows. He said, the Bhagavad Gita is the first text that specifically refers to Kriya Yoga. The life of Bhagavan Krishna as a Kriya Guru alone would be sufficient to render Kriya's history unforgettable. It was Sri Krishna who introduced Vivaswan, the sun god, to Kriya Yoga in a previous incarnation. Vivaswan taught his son Manu, who later became known as the great lawmaker of India. Eventually, Manu initiated his son Ikshvaku into the practice of Kriya Yoga. Paramahamsa Yogananda quotes verses 1 to 5 of chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita to support his claim. This was the method by which the royal rishis and sages protected Kriya Yoga, and they continue to do so until the advent of materialism. Due to the secrecy that prevailed in the system and man's indifference, the sacred knowledge gradually became inaccessible. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, or cosmic consciousness, has once again revived it in the form of Mahavadar Babaji during this era. In 1861, the immortal master Mahavadar Babaji initiated Yogiraj Sri Shamacharan Lahiri Mahashaya into the practice of Kriya Yoga. This is the point at which Babaji made the following statement to Sri Lahiri Mahashaya. This Kriya Yoga is the same science that Sri Krishna taught Arjuna millennia ago. Moreover, Patanjali and many other esteemed gurus also excelled in this science. The Sanskrit root of Kriya is Kri, which means to act, to do, and to react. Kriya Yoga refers to a spiritual practice that aims for union with the Absolute or ultimate reality through specific techniques or a systematic approach. Pratyahara, which refers to the withdrawal of the senses from external stimuli, is one of the immediate results of practicing Kriya Yoga. Over time, the regular practice of this sadhana system brings both voluntary and involuntary functions of the body under control, resulting in complete stillness. When a person experiences this level of silence or stillness, they are considered a spiritual being. Kriya Yoga is a simple psychophysical method for decarbonizing human blood and increasing its oxygen content. The practice of Kriya Yoga converts the oxygen absorbed by the breath into its basic constituents, which include atomic energy. It is subsequently converted into a subtle form of life energy known as prana. The consistent practice of the Kriya Yoga system eliminates all carbon waste produced by the body's cells. By doing so, there will be no more dark, impure, poisonous blood flowing in the body, and no more impure blood will be pumped into the heart for purification. This process results in the neutralization of upward moving prana and downward moving apana, which ultimately leads to the cessation of breath. When the body is in a state of being breathless, the life force or prana is liberated from its enslavement to oxygen. This allows prana to move towards the spirit instead of manifesting in the body through the activity of breathing. This is the process by which the transformation of material consciousness into divine consciousness takes place. Now, let's try to gain a more comprehensive understanding of this process. During sleep, the heart, lungs, and breathing experience a reduction in activity. But they don't come to a complete rest. However, the respiration is progressively quieter and the movements in the lungs and body are still through Kriya Yoga practice. When motion is eliminated from the whole body, venous blood stops accumulating. Since there is no longer any agitation inside the body and there is complete mental and physical calmness. What is venous blood? Blood that is dark red in color and low in oxygen is called venous blood, and it is sent back to the heart from the tissues of the body by veins. It contains elevated levels of metabolic waste and carbon dioxide. In comparison to arterial blood, it typically has lower pH, temperature, and nutrient levels. Under normal circumstances, the heart circulates venous blood into the lungs for purification. After being liberated from the endless process of blood purification, the heart and lungs are at ease. The diaphragm is responsible for the mechanical action that causes the breath to go in and out of the lungs. That too ceases. The body of a Kriya Yogi is refueled with more energy, which is distilled from the breath, and it is further strengthened by the immense dynamo of energy that is formed in the spine. Consequently, the rate at which biological tissues deteriorate is slowed down. As a result, the role of the heart in cleansing the blood becomes less important and is ultimately rendered useless. The pulsating life of the heart pump enters into a quiet state because of the venous blood not being pumped. This circumstance renders both inhalation and exhalation unnecessary. The life energy, which has been utilized by cellular, neurological, respiratory, and cardiac activity, withdraws from the outward senses and organs and combines with the current in the spine. After that, the Kriya Yogi develops the ability to merge the upward flowing life current prana with the downward flowing life current apana. He also develops the ability to merge the downward flowing life current apana with the upward flowing life current prana. In this way, he is able to negate the dual movement, and with the power of his will, he is able to withdraw both currents into a single sphere of spiritual light that is located between the eyebrows. This light of pure life energy is directed from the cerebrospinal centers to all of the cells in the body. This light magnetizes the cells, holds the process of their degeneration and growth, and allows them to sustain themselves in a vital manner. Thus, they are liberated from the necessity of breath or any other external source of life. As long as this light flows upwards and downwards, like the opposing currents of prana and apana, it provides vigor and illumination to our sensory perceptions. The processes of growth and degeneration that operate in the mortal sphere are the result of this two-way movement. However, the yogi's ability to neutralize both the downward and upward motion of the spinal currents completely transforms the situation. After that, he is capable of removing the entire life force from both the sensory motor nerves and the senses. This allows him to maintain the life force at the Kudastha Chaitanya, or the point between the eyebrows. This is the moment when the cerebral light gives the yogi the ability to control life force or power over prana. When the life force is cut off from the senses, it becomes concentrated into a stable inner light that reveals the sphere in which the spirit and its cosmic light exists.